Welcome back. You're tuned into Educational Insights. Yes, that is our segment every Monday, 3 to 4 on Inspired Afternoons with me, your host, Mariam Mia. And I love my Educational Insights segment because that is where my passion lies in education. And today I'm so pleased I have Zahid Jadwat with me joining me in the studio. Yes, he is one of our contributors and amazing journalist in the making, but for me, he's already there in terms of what he writes, how he conducts himself in terms of current affairs. I mean, I feel he's more knowledgeable than me, and his views on current affairs are really, really. He's a commentator of note, and sometimes I have to remind myself that you know what, this is Zayed, brother Zayed Jadwat here, still a teenager. He's still at school, and he just shows maturity beyond his years. And that is why I have the segment to motivate and inspire other learners that, yes, we have school, we have our classroom, we have all our learning content there. But when you find a passion and grow that passion and let it be your guiding light beyond the classroom, because this is learning beyond the classroom. So I'm just keen to understand where, because first let me welcome him and then I can introduce him, because I'm so excited in terms of his contribution already at such a tender age. Assalamu alaikum, Brother Zahid, and welcome to Salam Media Educational Insights.
Walaikum salam, Apa Mariam, and thank you so much for having you. Thank you for those kind words as well.
Yes, a little secret. Zahid sends me information and content for my show. I feel I supposed to be that capacity of a mentor to Zahid when he's hosting his shows, but he's it's a reversal of roles, because he's that mentor, or when there's somebody speaking, especially when it's related to education, I'll send him a message and say, did you hear anything? When is this talk? When is this announcement going to happen? Because he has his finger on the pulse of everything. So let's just begin here. Please tell us about yourself. How old are you? Which school do you attend? Because after all, you're still a learner at school.
Indeed. So, to let you know who exactly I am, I think I'd like to see myself as an active, uh, a 16-year-old, perhaps trying to live a normal life as best as I can, as a normal average 16-year-old. But there are certain passions which I follow and I just don't ignore, because especially the passion for journalism, I think it's quite a young age to be involved in this, but I think it's my passion, and so I've started and I'm enjoying it actually. Um, which school do I go to? So yes, I'm still in school at the moment. I go to a private school here in Durban, in the Durban region. It's called Ocean View Muslim School. Uh, and yeah, so that's basically, if I could just say, that's me, the average 16-year-old.
I don't think you're far from every 16-year-old, brother Zayed. So tell me, you're 16 years old, but I mean, sometimes when you post on our C and our Salam Media social media feeds in terms of your show you be hosting, but not only the show, the guest that you have. I mean, these are all moving shakers, the think tanks of society, university academics. Like I say, everybody from Ernest Rhodes as well as thought-provoking professors. Last week you had a dynamic, I'm just going there to see all the guests who you've interviewed. You have your political discourses, and the thing is, in terms of your commentating, you have the finger on the pulse. And I mean, your input and your insights are so thought-provoking, and in terms of how you summarize and encapsulate an issue. So where did this start? Because remember, you're only 16 and you write phenomenal. When I look at the writing, this is somebody really I can even compare to Brother Azhar as well in terms of your writing and your journalistic skills, without having the benefits as yet of a university training in terms of journalism 101. So where did this all begin? Where is this passion for current affairs? Or maybe when you were still in the womb, did your mother just watch news 24/7?
Actually, it's quite different to that because I'm probably the only one in my family who actually follows the news so closely. But anyway, so I think it started off in school, in the sixth grade, perhaps. It was a few years ago. It was in 2016 or 2015. I'm not sure exactly. One of my teachers used to encourage me and my entire class to actually follow what's going on in the current affairs. And my teachers would always say to me that, you know what, you are going to be, this class is now going to be the leaders of the future because you are the youth of this age. And you need to now become active and see what's going on in the world around you. You need to take an interest in it. And you need to start, basically, it was just encouragement that we need to take interest in what's going around us. And I think it was one of those years that I'm not sure if you recall that the Zuma era, President Jacob Zuma, when he was in office, and how from around that time Parliament would go into chaos at times. And so I saw one of those when that first happened, when the opposition, the EFF, was thrown out of Parliament, and I actually saw this, and I thought to myself, this is interesting. Why am I not looking at all of this and actually maybe I can maybe I'd enjoy to find out more. And so that's how I started listening to the radio. And as I started listening to the radio, it just became more interesting to me. uh, I couldn't understand how this everything that was happening around this world, if I chose not to listen to the radio, I'd just not know what's happening. And so listening to the radio actually made it more interesting to me, knowing what's happening around. And I think it was also in the 2016 elections, local government elections. Also, that was I listened to the radio the entire day that day. It was a public holiday, so I wasn't at school that day, and I was just that's where I was interested into now looking at how this election would actually turn out for me as the average South African citizen, how other people's decisions, although I can't vote myself, because the legal voting age is 18 and above. So unfortunately, I can't yet participate in elections. But so to actually now see what's happening and how this would affect me, and so that's how I got interested in to listening to radio and stuff. And I think from there it just developed because then I started having these debates amongst my friends. Though unfortunately there aren't that many people my age who are so interested in this, and that's the sad part. Uh, but the few of them who actually took a keen interest in the news and current affairs, I would debate with them. And for some reason, I felt, okay, now I need to write something because I also enjoy writing. And so I started writing when I saw that as a public, I could, as a member of the public, I could actually contribute to News 24. I don't think they still have that platform, but at that time they had a platform called My News 24 where the members of the public could actually write their own opinions and submit it and get it published. And I wasn't entirely sure it would get published. At that time, I was only about 13, turning 14 or so. But anyway, I did write something. And I remember the first article was about the drought in Cape Town. And so I wrote it and I submitted it. I even forgot about it. And a few days later, somebody sends me a link to an article and they asked me, like, is this really you that you wrote it? And I went and checked it up and I see, wow, it actually got published. And I think that just encouraged me to now do even more. And so I was writing regularly. I used to write at least once a month at least. And then when I took a break for Hivs, in my free time around 2017, when I took a break from school for to actually focus on Hibs, then in my free time I had nothing ready to do. There wasn't something like studying for homework for school and doing homework and stuff. So I actually needed to fill that time. And so I just started writing in my free time. Whenever I was free, I just would write and listen to the radio, do my research. And so around like last year, I think it was in about May, I felt that why don't I do something like to participate in the radio space as well? Because writing was now, it was interesting for me. It was good enough, but I needed to take it to the next level now because now the writing was just, uh, it wasn't enough. So I started doing my podcasts, and Shukr, by the end, towards the end of the year, around November, uh, our CEO Azavadi actually approached me, and I was actually quite surprised. And I didn't realize it would happen so soon that he actually approached me and he was like, "Would you like to do a show for us?" And just once a week. And at first, I was hesitant. I wasn't sure if I'd manage with school as well to like bring a show together and then start and go to school as well. But I decided, okay, it would be. I spoke to my parents and we felt that okay, this is now something interesting. It's the next level. Let me try it out. And I felt it would be good for my future career as well, many years in ahead of me, inshallah. So I did. I told him, okay, let me do once a week, and yeah,
As you're speaking in terms of, I'm thinking what motivates Zahid, because he's done that. So you know what? I listened to my educator. I studied politics, seeing what is going on, and then I took an interest. Then I decided, I love writing, so let me do that. I found this platform where I could contribute to News 24. I did that, and always the next thing in terms of your media, your love for the media and your passion. So then it's now you have your own show at 16 years old, and it's a fantastic current affair shows, and you handle yourself, really professionally, and that. And also you didn't have prior training in terms of hosting a show or anything like this. So it's really noteworthy, and you an example to many people, even those who are studying journalism as well. So what next? Oprah style show for Brother Zayed. Is that what is your next chapter here? Because I see this restless spirit in you in terms of now taking this to the next level. Brother Zayed, can you hear me? Brother Zayed, can you just unmute your microphone?
okay.
Can you hear me?
Maaf for that. I actually, yes, I can hear you. It's just a bit of a disruption. My little sister actually entered the room, and
Oh,
so
she
she was
also
causing
wants
a
to
bit of
join
a
in
ruckus.
and come on TV. Why must
Yeah.
you get all the acknowledgement and the fame? She also wants to be there. So I was
So,
joking and I said, what next? An Oprah style show, or you want to get out there in television? So tell me, I'm so amazed because, yes, many who take a break for Hives, when they done what Hives says, we want to chill now, because that's when I speak to most of the people. That I ask them, then what you do, don't you want to at least do some online mathematics and English, so that when you resume, you're on par in terms of this, in terms of your mind cognitions, and that you don't lose out, and then you have to get back into it. And they always refuse. They say, you know what, when we're not doing our Hives, we just want to chill. And yet you decided, no, I need to fill this void with something, and that's where your interest peaked in terms of your writing and that. So how do you balance your time?
well,
When do you
I
have your
think
chill time? The teenage chill time. So when's Zayed's chill time?
no, there's no chill time because it's I just can't I can't sit still. I must always be reading something or perhaps watching some analysis on YouTube of something that's just happened in the news. There's no chill time. It's either that or I'm busy learning or studying or something. So yeah,
So this is basically your passion. Your
it is.
involvement
Yeah,
in
and
everything media
what
is your passion.
that's what drives me to actually continue and go ahead and build on what I've been doing because it's my passion. I enjoy it. And so, of course, you shouldn't actually be doing something that you don't enjoy. So, I'm
Absolutely.
actually doing something I enjoy. Yeah.
And tell me something, when you contact all your guests that are out there, the professors, the parliamentarians, the local councillors, the who's who in our political and social spaces, and when they see, you know what, you a 16-year-old learner, how do they take you seriously, or are they in awe of the fact that you're hosting your own show and you are going to be chairing the discussion and chairing the panel discussions, and then how do they react to you? Or initially, I mean, it's done, so you send them an email and they don't quite know that, Zahid Jadwat is just a spring chicken, a young teenager. And then when they see you in this live stream platform, and is this Zahid Jadwat, I mean, they now have to get their minds, wrap their minds around that this is a youngster. How do they react to you?
Well, actually, I think they don't really know my age, actually. I don't disclose it in my emails when I invite them as well.
Absolutely.
Uh, Yeah, because I need them to actually be I need them to be confident in the show so that I can actually get their analysis, because their analysis is really useful for the public. People need to know what's actually going on. So I think to tell my age to the guests beforehand, I don't think they'll take me seriously, and then to get them on the show might actually be a bit of a challenge. So I prefer not to disclose it beforehand.
And then when
Um,
they see you, how's the reaction?
no, there isn't really much of a reaction because they
Okay.
still don't figure it out. Or if they do
And,
figure it out, they probably keeping quiet. But so far, nobody has actually uh, realized how young I actually
and how young but really mature beyond your years, and very very impressionable in the fact that you know what you critically analyze the situation, and in terms of your input here, it's an informed opinion. So you're not just giving your piece, or as they say, hogwash. This is really, you've studied everything. You're giving an informed output in terms of what you have to say. So in Kapla, so what grade 10 are you now? Grade 11.
Actually, I'm supposed to finish grade 9 this year. That was the intention. That was the plan. Because I must remind you that I stopped for HIVs for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
So I was supposed to be in grade 11 this year if I continued without stopping. But yeah, so I did take a break. So I fell back to grade 9 this year. But the intention was also to finish by the end of 2020. But as you know, the academic year is extended. So 2021, inshallah, I'll finish grade 9. But that's one of well, the issues that has come up with the pandemic. It's something we really can't control. I was looking forward to grade 10 for next year, but it's just going to have to be put on hold for a while.
Yes, and I know, but it's fine because while you're doing this, you are making waves for yourself, a name for yourself in the media space, and who knows, it might be a more permanent fixture. And in between homework, you'll be hosting many other shows, or people will be contacting Zahid Jadwat in terms of commentating on various social and political issues and engaging with you. So, you've got a bright future ahead, and that is what I wanted the segment is to motivate other learners in terms of beyond the classroom. And there might be a couple of subjects that you, as a learner, might feel you're struggling and not your forte, and that affects confidence. But then you might have a passion, like your passion is for writing and journalism. And if you follow your passion, that is going to give you confidence, and you already then uh, 50% of your journey is already there. So, if you say, I'd like to engage in terms of looking at yourself, if you do a humanities, that direction there, you do journalism, international relationship, politics. So there's many, many avenues with your interest that you could then see a career as a diplomat, a career in politics, a career in media, a career in community activism. So in that space, because of your passion, there are many places. So you don't have to just decide now, you know what, I'm going to be a journalist or that. In the space, there's many things. I want to be a diplomat. I want to be a commentator. Or maybe now that I have my I am so aware of current issues. I'd like to be a human rights lawyer and ply my trade in rights law. So, like I say, the world is your oyster in the fact that you are already out there in the workspace, and you are having, when you're in grade 10, you have to go for that compulsory work skills training and experiential training. And that, I mean, you are living example. You do this, you prepare for show once a week, you're doing this, so you out there, you have a feel of what it is like already in terms of the career that you want to pursue, and you've turned your passion into an education in terms of increasing your life skills, and I salute you for that.
Jazakallah so much for those kind words. And actually, journalism isn't the lifelong plan. It is just for now, for the next few years, maybe 10 or 20 years. But I do intend on getting into politics at some stage. Uh, that's why the interest in political news, especially, because if I must be honest, my goal eventually is to reach the highest office in the country. And that's, I want to run for president one day. because I think that's one of the most powerful positions to be in leadership, and to be able to actually make a difference for people. And I think at this stage, people are being betrayed by their leaders. I think to corruption as well. Corruption has destroyed our country, and I need to change that. And it starts off here with me aspiring to actually make that change. I could actually just say no, I'm not interested, but I really do need to be interested, so that eventually one day we can make this country a better place for all of us, and we can fix the wrongs that have been done, and we can actually have a good country one day. We can be proud of our country.
Inshallah, I'm so proud. Nobody has ever told me in terms of what they want to do, the career, to say I want to go into politics and I have a yearning and I want to be the state president of the Republic of South Africa. And there you have it. I have Zahid Jadwat, Hafiz, and please make me laugh. I didn't realize that you have done your HIF. So another accolade to your name and a significant one and a significant achievement as well. So Hafiz Zahid Jadwat, who our future state president of South Africa, which he made public here on in Educational Insights. And inshallah, one day I will be interviewing not just Hafiz Zahid Jadwat, but State President Hafiz Zahid Jadwat. And remember, live here, you owe me that interview one day when you are
I do.
sitting there in Pretoria. But we can do it over tea. So you have to invite me. I'll have a date with our president, and I'll come there and I'll hold my little finger up and I will sit there having tea with the president, and we'll do our interview there, and then I'll write about it. So inshallah, I'm looking forward to that in a couple of years' time. Even if I'm old, I will still do this, and that's a date and a promise that we will be having we will be having that conversation when, inshallah, may the Almighty accept all your ambitions. And in fact, it's a very, very noble endeavor, especially you say with many leaders failing us in terms of corruption and not doing their civic duty in terms of protecting the most vulnerable of our community, society, in terms of spending money in infrastructure that will uplift society. As we know now, I'm sure you're onto that story of the SI unit investigating the now I heard it's coverpreneurs, eh? So all no more tenderpreneurs, but those that have enriched themselves really through the dire suffering and the difficulties of many of our citizens in the country. So I know you'll be onto that story and you'll be watching that one closely for us. In very noble ambitions to undo all the wrongs and to lead the country in a very good direction. And I'm so pleased, and I wasn't expecting that, so I'm just trying to now process in terms of your future ambition. And I know the ambitious person that you are, inshallah, we're going to get there. Somewhere there, it's going to be that you're going to see.
And in 20 to 30 years, when I do eventually get elected as president, in that interview over tea, I do want you to hold me accountable, and don't fear to ask me the hardest questions, and because you need to.
I will.
Yeah, I need those questions. I need to be held accountable for my people.
So I've got Duru and Zakia here, my producers as well. They're starting to be in that media space. They're already writing those difficult questions and preparing. When they're coming with me, I'll bring my entourage with me, and they are going to question you there, inshallah. And you know what? You've already thought about that as well. And you're really an inspiration for all of us. And I've so enjoyed chatting to you. And inshallah, I know no doubt you are going to be a mentor and inspiration for many, many youngsters. And I see today many mothers sitting on the supper table are going to tell the kids, get off that PlayStation the whole time you're playing Fortnite, or you're playing this, or you're having those virtual tournaments. Be like Zahid Jadwat. You are going to be that boy that the mothers are going to say, emulate Zahid Jadwat. So I've just now caused it for many, many youngsters here to get off those games and follow their passions there. So I'm that auntie who's going to tell them, be like Zahid Jadwat and do something else and find your special passion and make waves. So Jazakallah so much once again for your time.
No problem. It's actually been quite a pleasure to be speaking to you for this last half an hour or so. But just before I go, if I could give a message to other young people out there, the young people of South Africa. I want them to know that as young as you are, don't doubt that you can actually make an impact, because right now you are young and you are strong. You have this capacity, this capability to be able to go out and do things, whatever it is, as small as it may be. Just do whatever you can, because and don't fear your aspirations as well. Nothing is too ambitious, nothing is too big. If you ask me honestly, 2 years ago I wasn't keen on actually doing interviews. I wasn't keen on being on air. I'm still not very good at public speaking. People will meet me now and they ask me, "How do you speak on radio? But you can't even speak to us when we write here." Uh, that's just how it is. But you see, speaking on air was actually my one of my biggest fears. But alhamdulillah, over the last year, I've managed to conquer it. I hope we get there entirely. So just don't be scared of whatever is your ambition. You need to do it, and you enjoy it. You need to conquer it and get through it.
I'll leave you with the last say. And Jazakallah so much, Brother Zahid. And hopefully we'll talk to you in the future again and we'll catch up again. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum assalam.
We're going to go for a short break, and then I've got Sister Nuri Moti on the line, and we're going to be then discussing sanitizing and the effects on the skin. So is a sanitizer, or all sanitizer different? We're going to get an expert dermatologist to give us all that information after the break.